Welcome to the Tonepot. Today we got Dony Gil. He plays guitar for hardcore band YOKAI and sings for ska-core band Mafia Rusa, both of those bands in California. Tell me a little bit about yourself and the bands that you play for.
So, my name's Donnie. I've been playing Mafia for like 3, 4 years now. Started as a guitarist, slowly transitioned into backup vocals, and then now doing the second voice for the band. Yokai has a lot of the guys from has the bass player from Mafia Rusa and one of the backup guitarists that we have from Mafia Rusa. He also plays in Yokai, and I've been doing that for like 3 years now.
Yeah,
So I played lead guitars and chunkier rhythms for the band.
for sure.
So yeah, that's been a ton of fun. The whole pandemic's been a little crazy, but we've been able to like put out music consistently with both bands. So it's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And you just recently transitioned into singing
Yeah, yeah.
for.
So one of our singers got he got sick and couldn't make the shows anymore, and we ended up making amends with our old singer. So he started singing. He wants me to do more backups, but some parts I can't sing and play. So he's like, you got a crazy, backup voice. You scream pretty well. You should try doing vocals more often. So now I transitioned to just doing second voice in the band.
That's sick, man. Yeah. What in the guitar realm of things? What in your life did you hear, or who did you see? What made you want to play guitar? And what lit the fire?
So one of my buddies got me into like punk in like sixth grade, and Casualties were freaking cool. The
Yeah,
bass tones were really rad. A lot of the leads were super simple, but it wasn't until I started listening to like Bad Brains and Minor Threat, and that really lit a fuse in me for some reason. Like everything was fast and like short and sweet, and it was aggressive, but it metal was a little corny in my end, because I was exposed to all like the glam stuff from my uncles. I never knew about the other stuff like death metal stuff like that.
for
But
sure.
yeah, it was a lot of like the '80s hardcore stuff that I got really into from my friend.
Hell yeah, man. That always struck a big chord with me as well. I've seen you play a grip of genres like the punk rock, hardcore, ska-core, ska, like all, I guess punk adjacent. But nonetheless, playing a lot of guitars, a lot of different
Yeah.
rings and stuff. And we actually met through like buying and selling guitars in the Los Angeles area. Um, what I'm getting at here is give me like top three guitars in the history
Oh,
of you.
definitely. It might still be like honeymoon phase,
Hmm.
but I recently picked up a gold top Les Paul, and nothing feels better than that. Like,
Nice, man. That 50s chunky neck on
no,
those.
it's actually slim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's really comfortable. I thought I liked fat necks, but no.
Yeah, dude. I guess a time and a place for both, man. But
Yeah.
that's great, dude.
So as far as second favorite guitar, it would have to be that Sterling Cutlass that I picked up 3, 4 years ago.
The blue one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I ended up switching the pickups on that, put a Fortitude on the bridge,
Nice.
and a Duncan Custom single coil on the neck. So that thing's super rad. It records the best. That's actually what we recorded with Yokai, and solid.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Even over the Gibson, or did you not have it at that
I didn't
time?
have it yet.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah, the,
cool.
the Sterling was like,
But nonetheless, that thing competes
oh yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Dude, Les Pauls are like, you know, I love them, but they're so heavy to play live.
I hear you.
That, and then I like my son to be really percussive, so um, the shorter scale is kind of hard to like, have my like sound to be there all the time. But yeah, third favorite has to be this thing right here, this Strat right here.
Yeah, I know that one for sure, man.
Yeah, this thing's been around for a long time. That's actually how we met, right?
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
started talking more through it.
Yeah, for sure. Restoring that bad boy. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on with it right now.
So as far as the neck pickup, that's my friend has a bucket of pickups that he just has laying around.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Marshall that is, but it's it's hum canceling. It's awesome. And then the bottom, the bridge pickup is a rail hammer chisel,
Nice,
and
man.
it's super aggressive.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
Railhammer stuff are super unique modern voicings. I really dig those. What what was your first guitar that you got like when you first were getting into music and got your rigs set up to play? What was the first setup you had?
So the first guitar that I had was actually like a really shitty acoustic that felt like a bow and arrow more than anything.
Yeah,
So didn't
we've all
really
had them.
play that. I got it through working with my uncle, and Eventually, I gave up on guitar. Wasn't for me, but I thought it was because I sucked. But the guitar was fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man. How the
Yeah.
guitar feels and plays.
The first electric I got though was one of those 80 Strat copies, but it was a three quarters guitar. It was a Honda single bridge pickup, but it's like not in the bridge position. It's like in the middle of the guitar.
For sure.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
shit with anything in it.
Yeah, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guitar is, I still have it. It's hung on the wall. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Eventually want to hand it down to my kid so he could struggle with that shit.
Yeah, for sure. You feel what I felt, all right?
Yeah.
We used to walk 2 miles in the snow.
Hey, you don't get the cold top right away.
Yeah. You're gonna work for that one. So, what was your first amp? Like when you first were like, I want to start playing and making some volume. What did you pair with that guitar, or maybe even a different guitar by that point?
So going back to the Honda, one of my friends, he was throwing out two guitars because he wasn't really into playing. He was more into skating like all of us. So he had a
It's a
Marshall.
fine line.
Yeah, he had a Marshall MG, those little 15-watt amps.
Uh-huh.
So he gave me that with a guitar. So that's how I got into that. But the first amp that I got, like once I'm like, oh, I got to step it up because I'm playing in a band. Because I was running a Digitech grunge pedal with a stereo out into two Marshall MG 15 watters.
Yo, that's
But yeah, the first,
resourceful.
yeah, it was loud enough for the stupid little room that we had. But
For sure.
but the first big amp was one of those crate. It's like, I forgot what the model is. It's like it has like the little blue lines on it. It's like 212,
For sure. Yeah, I had a GLX crate or something like that. But
It was along the lines of that. They all sound the same anyway.
yeah,
so.
definitely. Yeah, that was the like line 6
Yeah.
of our time or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, I saved up a ton. I think it was like a summer and a half. So almost a year and a half to get that thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot lighter. I wish amps were that light,
No kidding, dude. Yeah, there's some cool options out there, but the tones and the weight, I guess.
Oh, dude. I bought the same amp again like 3-4 years down the line. Like, I thought it sounded really cool.
Not what I remembered.
Yeah, it was so like
Yeah.
the clean was awesome. You could put any pedal through it, it'll sound good because solid state.
For sure.
But the gain sounded like bees. Like, people struggle getting the good tone on the metal zone. It was like way worse.
I hear you. What's your current live? Are you using this white Strat predominantly for your live setup?
Not as much recently because the neck's kind of shifting a little bit from the pocket.
Uh-huh.
And then I kind of ate shit when I was a little fucked up after a show. And like the body took a big bang and was chipped in the back. So as of lately, I've been using a Kramer Beretta Special, the pink
For
one,
sure. Yeah.
and the Sterling.
Sick, man.
So those are my two live guitars right now.
What's the rig or the predominant rig, backup rig? I know you got rigs.
Oh, dude.
Let's talk about them.
So right now I have two rigs that I really run. My EVH 5150, the EL34
Yeah.
head. That thing's super rad. It's been super reliable, but my back hurts sometimes. I work 60-hour weeks, so I want to try to be as chill as I
We
can.
don't have road crews and
Yeah. And so what I've been using mainly is one of those portable Victory Krakens. It's been super cool. Not the tone that I would go for, but I've been able to shape it to where it fits in both bands.
What's the spec on those? Like, what are they, like a all tube preamp?
The power amp in it is all solid state, and the preamp has tubes, but they're like those kind of like new tubes that Korg makes.
Oh, okay.
They're like really tiny ones.
Ah,
Has like 8 of those in the preamp. It's super sick.
that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
I hear nothing but good things about the Kraken stuff.
Dude.
All the Victory stuff is pretty top notch.
The only thing that I would freaking love about it if it got slightly smaller because it takes like so much space on my pedal board.
Word.
Like I'm using a pedal board that's the size of like one of those pedal train juniors. That's like 12 by 18.
Yeah.
And it takes like 60%, 65% of the whole pedal board. So I can only fit
sure.
like 4 or 5 pedals on the side.
Positioned accordingly.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and all the pedals that I'm using with that, it's just a little bit more tone shaping because the Kraken's very dry sounding. So even when you gun the gain, it's just not there,
Do you have a favorite cab with either of those, with the EVH or the Kraken, or one that you like for both?
The EVH, I really, really like the 212s that I got with it.
The EVH 212s?
Yeah, the EVH
Dude,
212, they're so sick.
they're great, man. I like the depth
Yeah,
of those cabinets. I think that adds a lot.
that amp. I've tried it through many different cabs. I had a Mesa 412 and a Marshall 412, and it just didn't hit, you know.
Yeah,
And then I even put V30s in my EVH 212, thinking I was like, oh, V30s, everybody loves them. It's not really dark. I don't really
yeah,
dig it. And so I went back to original speakers on it, and it's been the go-to for that. My Kraken, since it's portable, it's like whatever the venue has.
for sure. That's
But
the whole point.
it sounds great through
Yeah,
anything,
any
really.
cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can go direct with those too, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken. If I yeah,
so we run into a few situations where like the promoter says, "Oh, we have cabs for everybody. Show up, one freaking combo and one
yeah,
cab."
for sure.
So
A Fender front man or something like that. You know,
yeah,
yeah, full fuck.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I ran into front of house with that. It's freaking fantastic, especially because you don't got noise behind you. They could actually turn up the wedge in front of you.
yeah,
You can actually hear yourself.
that's rad. Are there pedals that you keep in both rigs, or do you have like specific things for each of those amps, or do you find like a pedal or an effect that you kind of use all the time?
So for both rigs, I usually have overdrive depending on my moods.
Uh huh.
But for the EVH lately, well, not lately. It's been like 5 years since I've been using this. It's Direwolf by High Wind Amplification.
Nice.
So OD is basically 808 on steroids with a bunch of switches.
Yeah,
I
man.
run it like a regular 808, but it has a little bright switch and shit, so it makes it
You
super
got
tight.
options, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, are you using that with the EVH you just said?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, cool,
So I've been
man.
using it with the EVH through all the bands that I've been in, and the Kraken really, really likes that KHDK, the Gold Screamer Junior.
Yeah,
The little tiny pedal packs a
yeah.
punch, dude.
Yeah, that's rad, man. All the
Yeah,
KHDK stuff is rad,
yeah,
dude. That guy, yeah, David is building awesome pedals out there, man. And for a lot of cool people, too, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You ever tried one of the like the number one pedals, like the clean boost and all that stuff? I
No.
think that'd be something that you'd be more into,
Yeah, all right.
for like leads and
Cool.
stuff.
I'll have to check that out for sure. In your time playing in bands and going through the rigs and all that stuff, what has been your favorite recorded tone or recording rig that you have used or experienced?
So believe it or not, in like the 10, 11 years that I've been playing music, I've only recorded like three, four times. So the EVH has been there for most of them, and
Yeah.
it's been wonderful. But for YOKAI, the last two promos that we did, we used the Silver Jubilee,
Hell yeah, dude. One of my
and
favorites for
yeah,
sure.
he was using one of those God City Onslaught pedals to like slam the front end of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. They have like a crazy top end to them. I'm in
Yeah,
love with those Jubies right now.
we use one of those Omega 6x12s for guitar.
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of crazy, big ass cab. It sounds super bassy, so it helps out with all that top end on the Silver Jubilee.
Hell yeah, man. When you were recording with the EVH, did you use your same 212 cabinet, like your
Yeah.
specific rig on all
So
that?
we threw it in a vocal booth.
Yeah,
Really,
for sure.
just on my
That's a
212
good
and
trick.
all my pedals. I even used the ISP decimator.
Mm-hmm.
Like they normally don't like you using gates,
Yeah, for
but
sure. I'll take care of that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know, but it's kind of a whole sound,
for
It kind
sure.
of shapes like the way you attack into the guitar and everything. And
Like almost like if you were going to be doing like a live room recording, like with the band, like you'd have it set how
yeah,
you
and
got,
like I'm not the cleanest player,
Hey, man,
So
I'm right there with you.
the ISP really really helps, like getting everything like super
I'm
super tight.
passionate though.
I don't run it super tight where it's like genty. I just get rid of the hum,
Word.
but it's enough to like when you stop, it stops with you.
For sure. Yeah, not that scream and squeal or that hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. Um, you've always been keeping up right with me and probably more so ahead of me, giving me the tips on like all the cool shit coming out in the guitar world. Right now, is there anything you're super pumped about in the tech world that's coming out?
Dude, honestly, like I recently started diving into the world of like amp sims and
Yeah.
cab IRs. I got a little into it with Helix,
Mhm.
but kind of gave you that in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
sense,
for
a
sure.
little
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I downloaded the STL tones, bought the whole program, and dude, that thing sounds freaking massive, even through like headphones. I've been doing a lot of demos for the bands, and like they're like, "Oh, what amp did you use?" I'm like, dude, it's one of those like amp sims, and
Amp Sims, dude. Yeah.
it's great. Like everything that it has on board, it's so easy to use.
Yeah, man. It's the from 5 years, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Incredible difference. Even 5 years ago, like the technology is just. It's never
dude.
been a better time to be a guitar player for.
The Helix has been around for like 10 years now too, and that
Yeah,
thing's like keeps getting updated and it keeps getting way better.
yeah,
So
dude. I'm
yeah,
excited to hear the new updates for sure, man.
yeah.
Stoked,
I'm just hoping the day like you could take a little 2 inch pedal, and that's like your whole amp rig, you know.
dude.
More tried it, but
It,
it was okay.
I'm sure it's getting there though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Hmm.
the first rendition never quite hits.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And you've recently been playing with a around with that Soldano
yeah.
super lead overdrive pedal.
So my ska-core band, we started incorporating a lot more of the like traditional sounding songs that don't require gain.
Mm-hmm.
And the gain that I'm using with that is super light, kind of like Voxy. So I need something that has a little bit more balls for the hardcore stuff that we have on the set. There's a lot of songs that don't even have ska now. So
Nothing quite like a super lead overdrive, man.
oh, dude,
That's
it's
like
it's
a
awesome. I bought the little 20-watt head that they made recently,
yeah,
not the tube one, the solid
yeah,
state one, and it was awesome. But my guitars are too fucking loud in that band.
for sure.
So yeah,
I always thought about one of those like just to sit on the desk for like a
yeah,
recording tone kind of a
yeah,
thing.
it's
But
awesome.
yeah,
I recently got a Black Star Amp One, and you could run it through like its power amp mode.
yeah,
So you could use the pedal to taste, or you could run it through the clean section of it.
that's rad. So you can
And
like that Black Star amped one, you can pick like the tube response or whatever. So EL34,
yeah,
6L6.
it
So you
definitely
can
helps shaping on everything.
use that Soldano even to like get that crazy front end, and
No, dude,
that's
that
cool.
thing is super bass heavy, but you know, it's better to have more bass than you need than not have any at
For
all. And
sure.
I've noticed that on a lot of distortion pedals, like everything's going too tight because everybody's trying to do like jet and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes that makes it a little thin, you know? For sure. So it's good to have the bottom, definitely. You got any hot takes on tone?
um, People don't really know how to use the metal zone, dude. Like
Yeah, that
I've
can be a
come
really cool pedal.
I've come to love that pedal recently.
Yeah.
Like I got the Waza, so it's kind of cheating.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
I use the classic mode more than anything because that amp one just any preamp through it just sounds fantastic.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's rad. That's Amped One seems like a really cool piece of tech just to have on board for any sort of pickle or
yeah,
ease of use, even, like the back's killing me. Just want to take,
yeah. I had one of those 5150 block letters and started pinching a nerve on my neck because I didn't have not like a handle on it and started getting like back problems because of it. So yeah,
damn.
definitely why I'm going towards the portable as much as I can. You
I
know.
feel you. I've thrown my back out on a Marshall for sure. But those metal zones, man, those are the center of many hot takes for sure.
Yeah.
I think that I spent many years just hating them completely.
Hmm.
And yeah, man, if you could figure out how to dial in the EQ, I think it's the dual mid knobs that
Yeah.
freak people out, or they don't know what they're doing with the high mids and it's,
So a lot of people think like all the EQ on the metal zone is like, a part in like where the EQ has to go, like, but it's active EQ, so it like pushes those frequencies.
for sure.
So instead of like, finding where the EQ is in the pedal, it's just pushing that mid wherever you
Yeah.
have the mid frequency like on.
Some people don't realize that you're dialing in like what part of that mid you're boosting,
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think when you get a good understanding of that pedal, you can get a lot of crazy crushing like tight tones out
Oh,
of
dude,
those, man.
I even dove into it a little bit, like opening them up and cutting some like diodes in there to like run it as an overdrive as opposed to as a distortion too.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I've used that on my in front of my EVH and things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to get that like HM2 kind of tone,
The chainsaw.
Yeah, but it's a totally different animal, but it's awesome once you like get a little less gain on that pedal.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. You also were talking to me about this Les Paul that you had recently strung up for this crazy low tuning. What was the tuning and gauge set
Oh,
that you used
dude,
on that?
that thing has 15 to 80, but it's tuned to drop G. It's
80. That for anyone who's unfamiliar with string gauges, that's thicker than the treble string on a bass string.
that's
Then your
bigger
G
than
string
the
there.
two small strings on the bass.
That yeah, dude, that's
That's a 40 and a 70. I have an
ridiculous,
80 on
man.
it.
You're wild.
Yeah, so that was like the first guitar like I purchased like after getting a job.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
a
been
hot
around
take,
forever.
dude. That tuning on a Les Paul, that's a hot take.
Yeah, everybody says that you can't do it, but those tension calculators on online. They really help, like,
You showed me those, man. Those are pretty fucking cool.
yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people is like, oh, you can't put anything bigger than a 60 on your guitar. Like, nah,
Yeah,
60
maybe you
feels like
can,
fluff.
dude. Yeah, I run into situations sometimes where like the tuning key is where you're running into a
Oh,
problem.
dude, drill fixes everything.
Right? That's what I'm saying. You got to drill them out for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I've usually been closing out episodes with asking people, what would your desert island rig be if you had to pick one guitar? Doesn't have to be one of yours. Just any guitar, any pedal, and any amplifier, just to suit your ear. Stranded on a desert island. What are you
You,
rocking?
you know, I love Les Pauls, but I would need something like a Strat.
All right.
It has to be. Lately, I've been getting really into those in between positions. So I'm even thinking of making this an HSS again.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it would have to be some kind of Strat. As far as pedals go, dude, I could live on like reverbs all day. So something like the Big Sky would be awesome.
For sure.
Yeah. And as far as amps go, anything with a little bit of gain. It doesn't have to be heavy.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I've been listening and playing lately, it's not what I play live.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you got to live with this tone
Yeah.
until you die or get
But
torn
yeah,
apart by crabs or whatever.
I'd go with an EVH though.
Okay.
Just in case I get over that,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got all the options on tap. Well, just kind of plug real quick your projects and your bands that you're working on. Let the world know what you got popping and where to find you.
So right now, we're working on a new album with YOKAI. It's supposed to come out in the beginning of next year through Restricted Airspace Records up in Canada.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got recording sessions for those coming up in July. So super stoked on that. Mafia is gonna go into the studio pretty soon too. We're just kind of on the pre-production of like writing everything right now.
For sure.
Before we start setting dates. But we should have something before the end of the year as well.
Well, before I let you go, now that you say that, do you have any plans of what you may be using in the studio to track with YOKAI since you're playing guitar?
Dude, I definitely want to take that Les Paul just to see what I can do with it.
For sure.
Taylor from the Pit Studios, he usually has the amps there, so
Always nice.
Everything that he has there is fantastic. So
Cool.
I'm pretty sure he'll find something great. But yeah, I think that Les Paul or maybe my Sterling because that's been so great in the studio lately.
It's been consistent, man. You
Yeah,
gotta have it.
I track at home as well, sometimes the demo stuff.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the guitars that, consistently sounds good even with dead strings.
For sure. Yeah, and what pickup did you say you put in that?
DeMarzio Fortitude.
The Fortitude, yeah, for
That
sure.
thing's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a good percussive pickup too. Definitely, that'll cut.
My friend's like, oh, why are you putting something so hot in there? Because, it sounds really aggressive. But it's kind of like a PAF reading.
Yeah,
It's like an 8K.
ceramic magnet on the Fortitude, or
I think it's Alnico. Alnico 5. It might be ceramic, though. Cause,
dig
metal,
it up.
Metal pickups.
Comment below. Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man.
Yeah, dude.
Well, thanks for fucking doing this. I appreciate you coming
Thanks for
out,
inviting
man.
me, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fun.
Yeah, this has been Dony Gil, man. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Go check out YOKAI and Mafia Rusa on the Instagrams at.
Oh, it's Mafia Rusa HC and Yokai HC.
That's what's up. Thank you guys for watching.